Welcome to ComSpark. We're live in Cambridge, Massachusetts at MIT, attending the Chief Data Officer Quality Symposium, where the world leaders in data have all gathered. My name is Matthew DeRamo. I'm your guest host today. Joining me is Tracy Ring, Vice President with Deloitte. Tracy, how are you today?
Great, thanks for asking, Matt. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate you taking time out of the symposium to join us.
Yeah, it's a very busy schedule with amazing content, but this is a wonderful experience. Thank you.
Good. Well, hey, I've got a handful of questions prepped, so I'd say let's just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
So how did you get involved in all of this?
Yeah.
What drew you to data?
Yeah, how about I was trying to avoid it when I first graduated. So out of undergrad, I graduated at a very unique time. There were not necessarily a lot of jobs. I really wanted to go do something cool in marketing or something that I thought was going to be way more cool than data. And I like to say data because it's like, it was real boring at the time.
Sure.
And I'll be totally honest, I fell in, and next thing you know, it was like the heartbeat of what I was doing and really changed the whole trajectory of what I thought data was, and helped me make interesting recommendations to my business stakeholders, and was able to always link and find amazing patterns. And I always found that was the cool part of data. It was like the keys to the castle.
Wow, so you didn't do a really good job of staying away from it.
I know, yeah.
Well, good. So, talking about data, especially from then till now, what it's become. A lot of times, not too recent ago, a lot of organizations view data as simply a number out of accounting or characteristic within the marketing field, but that's obviously not the case today, right? So help me understand a little bit, what does data mean to you, and how is it impacting the business today?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's shifted, like you said. It was bits and bytes, right? And then it was decision support, and then it became was the more recent, the fuel of your organization, right? And so we've kind of danced all around this idea, and I think of it as probably two things. One of it is it's really the fabric that brings us all together, and I think it's so much more than what we do in business and informed decisions. It's what we're talking about at dinner and what showed up on your feed, and what photos are we now able to share? Because data is so much more than just numbers. It's all the unstructured, everything that we're interacting with all the time. So it's the most immersive thing. And I truly believe, as somebody who really did try to sort of stay out of the ocean of data, it's impossible, and that's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely it's everywhere around us. We're touching it in ways that we don't even know, right? I mean, I can't imagine a life without social media. I grew up in it, and a lot of folks, I think, at this day and age view data as just normalcy. They expect kind of that information to be readily available at their beck and call, where I think the enterprise world too, especially, I think, is still in an infancy stage in understanding how to wrap their arms around it and what to do with it.
Yeah, I think particularly if you've ever taken a connectivity diet, right? And shut your phone off. Or a couple of years ago, I summited a mountain, and for 8 days had zero access to anything, and it was a bit depressing. It was something that there's so many aspects to the way that it's really accretive to how we are experiencing the world, how we're connecting with others, and less about did I reply to this email or did I solve this issue. It's really, I think, that fabric, like I talked about, that's really like holding us all together.
Absolutely. So what is, in your eyes, the vision or where we see this data world taking us in the future?
Data in the future, I think, will be only more than what it is now. And I think one of the things, like I talked about, when we have the ability to sort of dissect from it or cut off from it, I see that is melting away. Like, I don't necessarily believe that it's going to be a do you have access anymore. And most certainly we've come to a world where almost everywhere you have a connectivity or a Wi-Fi or anything along those lines. I truly believe that we will hit utter, ubiquity of data being integrated into the way that we live and everything we do. Thinking about, this generation of children are never going to drive a car, right? That's like that. If that doesn't,
that too, right?
Yeah, it's just it's a different, just a totally different world. I saw my nephew walked up to a TV and was like trying to like expand it, and I thought, wow, if that's not like an indication of what this child has grown up and around and his expectations. And I think our expectations for people that live and work in it and are, I think as I consider myself a data worker, right? And that is just the spirit of, I think, how I embrace the implementation, the consulting, the advice, and the way that we work with chief data officers is I think going to just become utterly seamless.
Sure. Yeah, and the same thing about your nephew. I'm sure I have 2 little girls on my end. Just how quickly they adapt to the technology and get it right out the gate. It's just absolutely mesmerizing.
Yeah, I feel that future generations won't even have the choice, albeit as unsuccessful I was of avoiding it. That there's no avoiding it.
It's here to stay, right?
Absolutely.
Well, Tracy, I greatly appreciate you taking time today and sharing your insights with me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt.
Awesome. So for more information on today's interview, please visit ComSpark.tech.